right, we're going to start with a little story here. Let's say that I call you and say, hey, let's go on a trip. Get packed. I'm going to be there in 5 minutes. Okay, so I show up in 5 minutes. You don't know, are we going to the mountains and you're only going to have swimsuits and light clothes and flip-flops? Or are we going to the beach and you have a parka and skis? You don't know. And this is what happens to a lot of people when they're buying a house. They start looking at houses online, and next thing you know, they're looking at houses, they're making an offer, and they're on this trip to buy this house, and they don't know what's happening. They didn't know how to pack properly. They don't have the skills they need to get to the finish line in a systematic and successful way. And that's what this video and the ones that follow it are all about. We want to show you exactly what you need to know to take this journey of becoming a homeowner. We're going to share with you a timeline, and we're going to help you build out a step-by-step process so that you can successfully become a homeowner. All right, so some of you out there are saying, man, I don't know if I can do this. You've been told that it's impossible. You have had your doubts. You've done your research and think you don't qualify for a loan. There's a lot of people that we run into every single day who think they can't be a homeowner. Well, I want to tell you a quick story about someone who will give you hope that it can happen for you. There was a woman that we met with recently that she had been a renter her whole life. Her whole family had been renters their whole lives. She was in her 60s and she wanted to be a homeowner because she had kids and grandkids, and she wanted to show them that homeownership was something that could happen. Her biggest challenge was she worked in food service and did not have a super high income. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. We helped her to get a budget together. We helped her to figure out and streamline her expenses. We helped her cut out things that she didn't need to be spending on. And we got her in a position where she could qualify for a loan to buy a house. We rolled up our sleeves and went to work, and we found a house that fit the criteria that was available to her. And she became the first person in the history of her family to own a home. You can do this if you apply yourself and you follow the tips and tricks that we're going to teach you in this video series. All right, so our first question is, are you in a financial position to become a homeowner? And the way that you do that is you have a budget. You need to know how much money you have coming in. You need to know how much money you're going to have going out. You need to know the expenses that are associated with buying a home. Are you currently renting? Well, if you're renting, your landlord is paying for repairs to things that break. Your landlord may be paying some utilities, or maybe you're living with a friend or a family member and they're paying most of the expenses of the house. When you become a homeowner, now you are going to be responsible for utilities. You're going to be responsible for repairs. You're going to be responsible for maintaining and taking care of that house. So you need to know, will your budget support it? So I have a very simple budget where you write down the money that you have coming in every month, you estimate the expenses that you have going out every month, and then you see how much money is left over. And that's going to allow you to see, once you know how much house you're going to buy, what your monthly home payment is going to be, this budget is going to help you to determine if you can afford to buy a house at that price. Because here's the thing, what you can afford and what you qualify for on your mortgage, those can be two wildly different things. There are a lot of people that they qualify for much more than what their budget says they can afford. So when you get qualified for a number and you just say, okay, I'm just going to spend everything to what I'm qualified for, if you don't take your budget into account, you're going to end up eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and only watching local access TV because you can't afford to do anything else. So you want to make sure that you get that budget in order. You know exactly what your monthly expenses are, and you need to know exactly what's left over when all the bills are paid. I've got a link to this budget. You can take it and use it, and hopefully that will help you take that first step.